What's going on, guys? I am Matthias. For those of you that don't know me, I am the CEO of 3 different startups, and this channel is kind of dedicated to going through my day, looking at my wins, looking at my losses as a leader running these companies, and hopefully we can all learn from them. Today, it is Thursday, so we're shooting GG for the most of the day. Then we got some other meetings scattered throughout. So one of the things I wanted to address, some questions down below and some questions at the office, is why we don't keep people after they said they've quit. In other words, why don't we beg them to stay? So I basically have 3 reasons of why I don't beg people to stay. So if you're in that position, if someone's leaving and you don't know what to do, stay tuned for those 3 reasons. The last one, I think, is the one that people struggle with the most, that kind of why. Before we get into that though, I got some deep work to do, and then we're gonna be off to GG. I have something to tell you guys, which I'm super excited about too. So I made a really rudimentary website powered by Notion.so. Notion is the website that you've seen me create like my documents on and things like that. I'm excited about this because, let me show you. The idea here is that this website is gonna kind of house everything that I talk about, everything that I'm interested in, everything that it pertains to this channel, and it kind of will give you a lot of details like that. So let's kind of start off. It says the about, we have the YouTube channel, the show schedule, which I'm gonna be uploading every Wednesday and Friday from now on. We have the mission here, which is the mission document that we've made that you can go and look at personally. We have information, books I frequently talk about, equipment, blog, articles, post-production, my process, upcoming content, and content analysis. So the idea here, I'm running through this really quickly because I want to get on to the rest of the video, but I'm really excited about this area right here because you can ask me questions, as you can see here, and upvote, and you don't have to have a login or an account or anything like that. You can just upvote a question, then I'll eventually answer it. If you want to see all the answered questions, you can just go to completed, and these are all the answered questions, or you can go to roadmap, here answered questions. And if we go back to suggested video ideas, you guys can suggest topics or video ideas, and it works the exact same way. If there's, like, let's say for instance, the roadmap, you can see videos I'm currently writing, currently editing, and videos that you guys suggested that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna plan on doing that. So you can kind of see all of that stuff. Now, if you want something that's not on this page, that's what site suggestions is for. I don't think anyone's probably used site suggestions because they're probably like vague on what it is. But basically, like a great example is like analytics, let's say, for instance. Yes, I'm showing you my analytics. If you go in here, you can check this out. You can see all of my analytics. Now, sadly, this doesn't show like the financial report, which I don't know how to get that onto here with using this program, sadly. If it did, I would, but like a suggestion would be to say like, hey, could I see your like CPM, your financial report? And you know, if I had the power to do that, I'd be like, oh, great, or there'd be upvotes on it. So that's basically what site suggestion is. So one of the things I do want to clarify is this is for the exec channel only. All the suggestions, the ideas, everything like that is just for this channel. If you suggest ideas for Dope or Nope or other things, I'm gonna archive them. I just want to let you know that hopefully we'll be bringing this feature to other channels very soon, but I'm experimenting right now for just the exec channel. So try to keep your stuff focused to just this channel. Upcoming content, after action reviews, after I upload content, like how I perceive how well it does and what I should do in the future. So this website is going to be really powerful if you're interested in whatever it is about my channel that you like. There's going to be information right here. So on with the rest of the video. So I think, you know, when someone quits at the studio, I think it's often like a bit of a point of contention amongst the entire staff, or not the entire staff, but maybe a couple people, because I think sometimes they ask the question, rightfully so, why didn't you try to keep them? And that's an absolute valid question. And that's one of the reasons really why I wanted to establish some type. Reason number 1, I don't negotiate. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. I negotiate all the time. I do believe in a fair exchange of value, and I do believe I can strike that balance. But really, reason number 1 is I try not to focus on sunken costs. The other 2 reasons, as I'll get into later in the video, affect this to a great deal, but sunken costs is basically the idea of having already spent money or having already trained, you know, one of our people then you have to think about, well, how much is this going to cost if we have to hire again, train again? And ultimately, I really try to not factor that in. I try to factor in the other two reasons more than anything else, because I believe that the next two reasons later in the video have a much bigger impact with the long-term success and fulfillment of the entire team. Be wary of worrying about sunken costs. You know, thinking a little bit more about negotiation, negotiation's not a super fun thing to do, but it's necessary. But I really don't like to negotiate. And I don't think it's in that same context of I never budge. It's more in the same context of saying, hey, let's both agree on what the value here is. Now, I don't think I could personally be happy making a deal that not everyone thinks is a fair exchange. And that's really what it's about, a fair exchange. Not every single person's gonna be happy. They just have to believe that it's a fair exchange. And sometimes we can't agree on what is fair because we have a different sense of what is fair, or we have a different perspective and we can't all align. And that goes by our principle, win-win or no deal. Win-win or no deal, I got that from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The idea behind that is both parties must be committed to making sure that both parties get what they need. I love that idea. I love that mentality.
Wow. Nice of you to join us.
Oh, it's raining now, Paul. Look outside.
What are we playing first?
Well, what's on everybody's game, Matt?
I mean, what?
Smart
Alex in this company, dude.
Okay, I'm gonna get a Red Bull. Oh my gosh, you almost have.
Alright, you ready?
People have been sneaking PB&Js off the
What
set.
the heck? That's mine.
You just realized that? People have been sneaking PB&Js off the set, dude.
No, stop.
It's me. It's
Who
mine.
knows that?
Is this thing on? Hey, is this thing on? Are we looking at stuff? Who's there?
Look at that subscribe button, bell icon.
Food?
Food. Going to get food.
I don't think I need it though.
I don't think any of us need it. It's just a necessity in our soul.
I need nourishment,
Don't be
or
so
else
serious
I will
about food.
perish.
What is happening up here?
This is the loudest book club I've ever heard.
This is where they read books?
Yeah, and they explain golf clubs.
You guys reading Extreme Ownership?
Yeah.
How you guys liking it so far?
I have it.
I finished.
You what?
I just got my copy.
I was like, what?
I already finished it.
Nice.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Enjoy. Thank you for reading it. I mean, like, love it when people like to better themselves. It's a really good book. You should.
Who reads books? I like to suck. I like watching videos.
I need to demote them and promote them. Caught you. Okay.
Stop changing real quick, and you walk in, just blow open the door, got you, and didn't actually expect us to be shirtless. That was so funny.
I was so taken aback. I was like, whoa. When you accidentally catch someone when you're just joking, saying, I'm gonna catch you. Oh,
That was the funniest thing. That was an A+ meme.
Oh my
It's been a hot minute since I've laughed that hard.
We're playing Gary's Mod, and we're doing prop hunt and a grocery store.
Indeed.
Hear me out. We play Human Fall Flat. They added custom levels.
Human Fall Flat. That was a game that I hated.
Really? I thought you liked it.
Basically, why I don't beg people to stay after they quit.
I quit.
What caused this response?
Now beg.
Please say. No.
What caused? I would take this job. It's fine. What caused this?
So basically, the second reason of why I don't beg people to stay is because if they want to go, their heart's already not here. Right?
Yeah.
So their passion is already not here. So even if I were to be like, hey, listen, here's this big chunk of money, how about you stay now? Their heart's not in it. Their head's somewhere else. That messes with the team, you know? When someone wants to leave and then they even like stay after that, it's like the entire team is like, do you really want to be here? And it just creates like this kind of like weird tension and chaos.
If I were in that kind of position, and like someone would be like, hey, like I'm leaving, like even with the people that we've had here in the past, I'm like, cool, like good for you, because it's something that like it's like one of their aspirations to go do something,
to do something
Like,
else.
Clearly there's a reason as to why they're leaving, and I'm not going to stop them for
Yeah.
doing that, you know.
So do you need 2 weeks or
It's also an announcement to all high five employees.
Well, no, I mean,
If you quit, you cannot hold us hostage.
well, it's not that you can't hold me hostage. It's more about the thing. It's like, if you want to be somewhere else, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what's actually really interesting is I was reading in the Culture Code book. It's a really great book. Link down in the description below. Some companies that can afford it. We can't afford to do this. Literally, right when they hire an employee, they say, here's $2K if you leave right now and don't come back.
Really?
Yeah. So the idea behind that, why they do that, is because if someone takes the 2K,
Clearly they didn't want it in the first place.
yeah, they clearly didn't want the job in the first place.
Yeah.
They prioritize money over it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's too much of a giveaway that it's a test, though, from the company standpoint.
Well, but it's true. It doesn't matter. If someone wants the 2K, they're going to take it. And they in the book, it actually says like 20% of the people do that or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, don't quote me on that. I just think that's like fascinating because it just like helps you get rid of the people that you think are right, but end up turning out to not be right.
Hear me out, though. What if you were in the position where you needed that money?
That's why you have a job.
Right. but,
You
like,
have a job.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, what if like you were in the position so you only needed the money at that time?
Boom. They're not part of your culture.
Maybe.
That's
yeah.
true.
They're not like they don't really fit into the culture. So. Yeah, that's cool. Right now is the dreaded once a month that I go through emails and Slack. Okay, I go through Slack like a couple times a day, but when your notifications get too high, Slack has a little dot so it doesn't like really stress you out with how many you have. Cause like I'll be in a shoot like GG and I'll have 75 notifications and that's just people here. That's not even like turning on notifications for the people outside. These pictures not being filled, that's not an inside joke. People are just wearing too many hats here around this company. Luckily this quarter, Kevin, Nicole, the operations team, bless their heart, they're working on a new hiring workflow that's going to ensure that we hire like the brightest, the greatest, the smartest, the most talented, the most dedicated, all that kind of jazz. Hopefully one of those hires is gonna be an interior designer because we need it. We need it bad. So reason number 3 though, is probably the most sticky one. It always comes down to money. It has to come down to money. We have to survive. We have to make sure we have an equal, fair exchange of value. And I'm all for paying people more, but they have to be worth more. And sometimes people have an inflated sense of their own value, and other times people are worth more and we just can't pay it. You know, we're a small self-funded startup. We don't have endless amounts of venture capitalist funding to just burn through like most companies. And you know, that can be difficult, that can be trying, that could be frustrating because people have got to make money. And you know what? I don't blame them. I really don't blame them for wanting more money if they're worth more money. I think everyone wants more money, but I think some people are worth more money. And if we can't pay it, there's no shame in going someplace that's gonna actually pay you, you know, your value if you've obtained new skill sets along the way here.
These waves.
No proof.
Like, these are waves.
He would like be.
That's kind of cool.
I actually hate this. I hate this so much.
I was like, what is he doing over
You
here?
just have him untangling string.
Yeah, that's my
Talk about busy work.
Keep him busy.
Why don't you just buy new string?
Because we measured it out, they're all the same length. And then Pat went over, tangled them.
I
Why don't you untangle them?
I told you I would, and you're like, no, I'm really good at untangling things.
I didn't say it like that.
Yeah, but you said you were
You'd
good
like
at
every
it.
single string to be tangled.
It's my fault, okay? I said that.
This channel kind of collectively as 3 acts like a married couple. It works though. To be honest, I celebrate it. I really am excited when people can build skill sets here and leverage them, make a better life for themselves. Like that's really the point. That's why I started a business, to help people. Just so that we're on the same page here, we actually employ an HR company that we partnered with to, one of the things that they do is precisely look at everyone's wage, look at everyone's position, and ensure that they're being paid the appropriate amount for, you know, those skill sets, those positions, that market value, all that stuff. Sometimes when people are here, they level up. Awesome. Good for them. What's up, peeps?
What up, homie?
How's the edits coming?
Good.
They fire?
The last video was very fire. Did you see
Dude,
it yet?
it hit 4 on trending. Did you know?
Oh, the last one that got uploaded. Yeah, that was all me. That was okay. Well, just watch the last the very
10 seconds
the
of it.
outro clip.
Favorite part of today's video was, and if you want to see that like, make sure you hit that like button. All right, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
See that bird out there? I just feel like you instinctively looked at it like this.
I'd never eat a raven. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, big man,
dog?
got a big question for you.
Ooh, big question.
Reworking OKRs. Yeah, I'm changing them because of how their start point was.
Okay.
The average consistency score is supposed to be 90%, right? That's the
Oh
that's the
yeah,
goal.
with the channels, yeah.
But if it's starting at 100%, how do we track it without it looking like we've already fully achieved it? You see what I'm saying?
It stays at 100%.
So it would be full.
Yeah, it can go back down.
Okay, so we were cool with it going 0 to 100% and then, or 0 to 90%, and if it's at 100%. This is perfect timing right there.
And the only thing isn't technically money. It's how you measure someone against money. And that's one of the most difficult things, but necessary things that you have to do in business, is you have to put a value on a person. And it feels nasty and it feels icky. And you know, we're kind of lucky that most of those values are already established, but we are a new business, so sometimes it's a little tricky to put values on people, and I hate it. But when we're in that process, we don't just measure it against the skill set. We also measure it against the alignment to our principles. We have many principles that govern our behavior as a collective unit, as a culture, and how well that person aligns with those principles is a huge factor in why we either keep them or don't keep them. What are you guys working on?
I can't tell you.
Oh!
Okay, I'll tell you. All right, so Don't Wake Daddy. Classic B video, right? Reverse it. Don't wake the giant baby. Come to my office. Come to my office. But I saw this on Amazon, and I felt like torturing somebody.
Oh, that's
with
so
this.
weird.
Isn't it weird? It's an 8-foot inflatable giant baby.
I just want to say I'm really upset because I'm going to be out of town when they're filming this, and I wanted to see this in person.
You wanted
I love the Don't Wake Daddy challenge. It was so much fun.
Well, this looks cool too.
Oh yeah, Will did that all himself.
Dude, great job, Will. Nicole,
Yeah.
can I borrow you for a second? Are you busy?
No, not at all.
I'm gonna, whoa.
It's really close. Hi.
It actually doesn't look that close.
Okay.
No, it does. No, I'm just kidding. So we're working on a new hiring process.
Yes, we are.
So when we're hiring, what is it that we're looking for?
I would say team players would be a top one. Just making sure people are like really in it to win it together.
People are here to be here. They want to push our cause forward. And for those of you that aren't familiar with our cause, High Five Studios, is to make content as a family for families, because we believe there isn't enough family-friendly content on YouTube, on the internet, that pulls families together. So when we're talking about when someone quits, and I haven't even had this conversation with you, but like what's your assumption is like why we don't beg people?
If people really wanted to stay, they'd stay. I think it's as simple as that. It doesn't really necessarily mean that people leave on a bad note. They could leave and really love this place and it just wasn't for them. We want to make sure that the people are here believe in everything that we're doing, and if they leave, it's kind of an eye-opening moment where it's like, okay, this either wasn't the right place for them or they didn't fully believe in what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Exactly.
And we kind of have to kind of like just let people go and let them do what they're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. Nailed it. I mean, you pretty much summed up my entire video in one.
Sorry.
A big point that you hit on is if people leave, if people quit, or even if we terminate, it doesn't mean they're not great people. It just means they don't fit in this culture.
Yeah.
Everyone fits somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna fit here. I do believe that it's pretty great to be here.
I agree. I mean,
Of course you'd say that, you're like sitting right next to the boss, but...
second annual's coming out. Just kidding.
Anyways, thanks Nicole.
You're welcome.
What was that?
Got any trash for me, Matthias?
Do I have trash specifically for you?
Yeah.
I mean, you can have it if you want it.
I love trash.
Just like reaming this poor guy for taking out the trash. I don't know, maybe I do. We all took that 16 personalities test, right?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Wait, like recently?
I sent the 16 personalities test because I saw it from a viewer online in this channel actually. They were like, I think you're an INFJ or whatever that means. An advocate is what I tested as. And I was like, yo, I read the description. I was like, that is Tanner too. No wonder Tanner and I get along so well.
Yeah.
And basically I sent that to him, and then immediately he sent it to everyone.
He didn't send it to me.
I'm the only one.
He didn't send it to me.
How'd you get it?
I've just taken it before. I took a psychology class in high school.
Oh, smart girl.
Smart girl.
Only half of mine was right. The other half was like
No, it was
wrong.
fully right. It's just the entertainer in you who doesn't want to like acknowledge the quote unquote bad things.
So you have to also remember that this is a personality. There are other factors to human behavior. Personality is just one little facet. You know, it's how you're taught, how you're raised, the environment you grow up in, things like that.
Not anymore. I read that description, I have to stick to it to a T. You know what I'm saying?
That's who I am.
That's who I am now.
Now I know how to handle you, Pat.
Understandable.